If you're feeling lucky, the Mega Millions is back at $1 billion, and it hasn't been there in a couple of years. Is everybody keeping tabs on the Mega Millions? Has everybody thought about the things they would buy if they had $1 billion? This is a Dr. Evil level of money. This is like, you can buy Facebook, but you can buy like half Facebook, so you can buy a face. You can have a face. And I think for me, if I would think small. I don't know. I would buy a car for bigger groceries. I would take weightlifting classes so I can lift all 20 grocery bags at once again and redeem myself. And I would institute chocolate tacos and be everybody's hero. And bring back Halloween candy because that would make the champions happy. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about Korea or married life before I go into that material? Pregnant pause. Good. It's working on time.
38 minutes.
Awesome.
There's the countdown.
Headphones on it.
So my wife and I just hadn't been to Korea in several years, and it could be allegedly the worst possible time to travel. And I don't want to tell a story about things went well for us, but we left first thing in the morning. We managed to make our international flight to get canceled. The only punishment we really suffered was having to fly through LAX, which is probably God's punishment for Sodom and Gomorrah. So LAX is just a crappy, awful airport, and nobody should ever have to experience it. Luckily, we only experienced the one time. Upon my return, I got extremely confident that I would not suffer from jet lag whatsoever. We landed in Tampa at 1300 for civilians / me as well. That's 1 p.m. And I thought I would go for a swim, and I sat down and I fell asleep. And so it's just on this backwards time for a week straight. Well, and so to counteract this, I work remote, because how many people are working remote? Everybody! That's smart. 5 years ago, that wasn't really heard of, and I remember moving to Tampa and thinking this was the greatest city in the world, which it is. Tampa is absolutely the greatest city in the world, and I thought, great, I wish everybody would live here with me. And they do. Now they do. I don't regret too many of my wishes, but I'm sure I've stayed the same, but mine did not. So to cover the jet lag, I logged remote work. I logged in at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I thought I was the most baller person in the world. I was like, no, you can't. This is not anything at all. You can't get used to. I eventually staircased down, and that is the end of the jet lag bit. Which, looking at your faces, I'm going to put it needs improvement. Needs improvement on the jet lag bit. How many have flown overseas? Or just maybe longer than 2 hours. Mostly those are the people that have worked remotely. So I don't know if you guys do this, but I prefer, on long trips like that, I prefer the aisle seat. Is that weird or bizarre? Because I like to be in control of potential bathroom things. And once an hour, so to avoid, you really want to avoid the deep brain, the DET, the deep brain process. You're supposed to the human body isn't meant to, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, Marty Brink. Yay. Marty Brink is from Maxar Satellite Imagery Company, and he is one of the best tech people in the business, and he used to have longer hair. That is Marty. He always wears a shirt that looks like a checkerboard because he is always ready for chess or tennis. And he will best you at either. All right, Marty, we gotta catch you up. All right, one more question. Starting over. Starting to introduce the building and myself, And no more words after that, because words are premium. He's a father of two, so he wouldn't be able to say too many words right now. Favorite breakfast cereal? Fruity Pebbles or Lucky Charms? Like those two, because I won't remember any of them. Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles, perfect. And Sue thinks an argument over, have you ever argued with your wife for taking out the trash or leaving the toilet seat up?
Taking out the trash.
Okay, so what he says, it's time to continue the show and stop standing around. Where was I? Oh, yes, aisle seats on flights. I like taking charge of my own destiny because you want to get up once every hour to avoid potentially destroying your body through DVT. I designate that person who's at the front of the row captain. In my looks on your faces, I am alone. And all that too. Great. This particular flight, we had a fantastic row captain. He had approximately the same bathroom schedule as I did, and I was able to move forward with better things. And I guess I have. I have baked that bit as well. So we will. I don't want to use two sabers another thing the same night. But man, also I need to prove to Jimmy. You promised me in your free show an 8+ show, and you're doing kind of. I didn't know you were deploying this in production. I was joking. Guess just wow. Perfect. I hit 1 out of 1 box. Also in Korea, what did I do? Oh, yes. So you guys see me presented for you. I'm usually wearing a t-shirt and jeans because I like to think I'm constantly a senior in high school or a freshman in college who still thinks he's a senior in high school. Right now, I look like somebody who's an associate youth pastor at a large mega church. When I went to and you guys have seen my many looks, so you may not remember me as somebody who doesn't get my haircut too often, especially during the pandemic. And so I had this bushman of a fro going into Korea, and they were taking my picture at every milestone, and I knew I would get a haircut while I was there. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to come back, but I did get my haircut while I was in South Korea, and so we used my mother. Lauren's parents live over there. Lauren's dad is a very talented Boeing engineer, and Lauren's mom also has very good qualities. She said we'd be able to use her salon. So we went over to this place that's called Old Bowling Bar, and we walked in, and my sweet little mother-in-law said, can you cut Ben's hair? Can you cut Ben's hair? And this young Korean salonist, I don't know the industry term for somebody who cuts your hair. That felt right though. Salonist, salonista, stylist. That's the actual word, and that 100% rings all the bells. That sounds right. Perfect. The stylist, as Cindy and everybody else in America calls it, must run every word of English she knows to say, no, only woman's hair, which I took the meaning. She did not cut men's hair at all. But they are very resourceful in South Korea. So she got formulated an idea. She literally stuck her hair like this, and I could see visually the light bulb flash over her head. And she ran to the back, and what she reversed of her, and again, I thought he, at 22 years old tops, and who said, just show me a picture. So I just I've been memed a couple times. Usually I meme myself because I'm kind of desperate for attention that way, and I really want to see my face on a t-shirt and make a lot of money that way. Because that would be very good for me if I had a lot of money. But from this one angle, this guy was able to Edward Scissorhands his way into this Gozer from Ghostbusters look you see before you, and he even offered a scalp massage afterwards and a whole shampoo and wash thing. And the exchange, I don't know if it was a joke or they were trying to get rid of us, but the whole thing cost 15,000 won. Now 15,000, a large number, except when you exchange it with American money, the thing was like $12. It was a $12 haircut and shampoo and scalp massage, and Edward Scissorhands going through to provide super sweet italicized hair style. So I'm pretty stoked that, and my wife also stoked that I don't look homeless anymore. And crowd / audience, are you also pretty stoked that I don't look homeless anymore?
Yeah.
Thank you, crowd. Thank you, audience. I liked how you guys are okay with me trying to shoehorn my own applause breaks. That is the New York term. So I learned stylist, the industry term for when like you have a really good beat and a really good strong joke, and everybody claps at the same time. Sometimes it's even bumping their fists. It's called an applause break, and I tried to force them there, and you guys weren't having it because you guys are smarter crowd than that. Woo! That was great. So, I've been married for 8 years. I wanted that down here, and I wasn't expecting it. So that was great. That's the other side. So there's like a front end and a back end of an applause break. So the back end, when you do really well at the end of the joke, and then when you have like a really cool, like I can relate to that. I also have birthdays. I've also been married. Like I love the front end of applause breaks as well. So thank you, crowd, for being extremely smart, and also for liking Fruity Pebbles. If I can bring that back very quickly, because that is my favorite cereal as well. So we established the middle ground super early and super quick. Been married for 8 years, and when people ask me how my marriage is going, I say, my marriage is great. Lauren's spare time. I don't know. I've never been married to me. I've never slept next to somebody who snores like a rusty lawnmower that's running over another rusty lawnmower before. I can't imagine that's enjoyable. I've never had to work from home where someone will just randomly break out into the Pokemon meme. Because I do want to be the very best like no one ever was, but maybe the CEO of our company doesn't really care that that's my aspiration. But sometimes, you just need that daily affirmation. For some people it's a cup of coffee. For me I want to look at myself in the mirror and give you the double finger guns. Boom! They're gonna make this thing happen. This is League Bill, and it's bothering me. I don't know if it's bothering you. I love your CD about it. You guys seem to be doing okay. I think my favorite part is like nobody's left yet. You guys are like, Jimmy's pulling like 1 for 1. Like one joke's good, one joke's Well, I'm gonna see this through because it was free and I get fun-sized Twix, so worth it. And like you guys are buying hardware Twix, you guys could literally be doing it. I'm not trying to undersell my soul show, but man, you guys are good. You guys are good people. So, more deals with my snoring and my Pokemon music. Oh, and my ADHD. Which that joke played out even better than when I wrote it down, because I didn't actually expect to go off on a tangent before I made the ADHD joke. So, man, I'll write that one down. That one stays in the act. Why do they call it Fruity Pebbles when they don't even taste like fruit? That's basically the Apple Jacks joke, but for Fruity Pebbles. But that's the thing that occurred to me just now. I did write in the script, make sure you reference the cereal material after the ADHD joke. And I wrote it, but with Captain Crunch, so that wasn't helpful, because I was about to make a Captain Crunch reference, and you guys were like, hey, guy, this was a Fruity Pebbles. You got 2 choices. It was either Fruity Pebbles or Lucky Charms. And you went with Fruity Pebbles, and then you made the same joke that they've been making since 1989. Guy, I will go to Armchairworks instead. And this is where punchline is coming from. This is where it gets dangerous. 21 to I'm doing better than expected. This is where it gets dangerous because Lauren is not without her faults. Sometimes, and I get it. So sometimes you're just captain or sometimes you're in the middle of a process, right? You've gone in to get a bowl or trash bags to not take out the trash, or or just random pots and pans. So the guys will be there, and it used to worry me because like I'm a klutz, so I'll just walk into stuff full speed and bust for, right? And bust for me becoming a pirate. However, I live in Tampa, the greatest city in the world, and so that would be on brand. So I'm almost okay with the captain thing. And then and there are two schools of thought. Spoiler paper. So who's let's keep this under. There's like the over and the under. Who keeps it under to prevent anybody? We're done.
No, over is the way to go.
Flip it over. Is it overhanded or underhanded? Overhanded? Right? I prefer it underhanded. So, see how pitches I am. So in 2017, when pitches hitters were a thing, like I was double fisting. I'm like, let's make this go. I gotta control this ADH, whatever. And so our argument is like, only people with kids would just like do that because they're gonna pitch this all the way out, which is what they got to let it do when I'm in that particular room. And I guess it's not a room we need to discuss tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. We're still making this. We're still making this happen. Where we disagree. I don't know if anybody's ever been how possible it is for people to be passive aggressive about toothpaste, but I like to again, possibly three schools of thought. There's really squeeze from the bottom or just be wrong, is my understanding. And so for me, I squeeze from the bottom, and then I have this sweet little accordion system, right? I maximize all the surface area, all the volume, and I'm getting every ounce of that toothpaste. And I know that in the commercial they show you the little curlicue, and that's way too much toothpaste. You need like half or 2/3 of that tops, and if you are concerned about my dental records, you are correct. There's a small chance I may not be using enough toothpaste. However, Lauren, my lovely, precious wife / potentially Satan starts in the middle. Starts in the middle. And it all gathers at the top, but there's just like this no toothpaste left behind stepchildren. East West Germany thing happened at the other end. And I don't know if you've ever been so upset with somebody that you direct their toothpaste. But one time we were arguing about taking out the trash and leaving the toilet seat up, and I was like, take this Lauren's tube of toothpaste. We just. All right, balance days. The marriage jokes are going well. Because everybody's been married or knows somebody's been married. Not everybody has had a road captain en route to Korea. That's what I'm learning tonight. While I'm stammering to remember the next bit in Q, everybody give it up for Joe Paradella, who are born in tonight. Thank you, Joe. Sam Pastor provided the tech equipment, and Lauren is holding the cell phone recording my special, like some kind of recording peasant. We had a tripod that wasn't working out. And then Sparky, you heard him, and all, you know.
Let my phone down.
Oh, and his phone. Good.
I got 20 minutes up.
So. I tried to do. Have you guys watched Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
I tried to do this super sweet. I tried to do super sweet Dave Chappelle, not the mic on your knee thing. And he must have some super finesse about it, because that was awful feedback. I am so sorry. I'm sorry about that, and I'm sorry that actually sounds like it was a highlight of the show. So I'm not going to do it again. That sucks. I would say my biggest disappointment in myself is I'm just not the romantic that I used to be. So there's just a difference between dating somebody and being married to them for years. So like when we were dating, it was like I could look at Lauren and say, man, there must be a pair of crystal balls in your head because I see the whole world when I look in your eyes. Right? Like, that's the romance that I would bring. Now it's like, cool, you look like you got enough sleep last night. Like, I used to be able to say, I would go to the ends of the world for you. Now it's like, I don't know, I might do a dish, possibly the China. Would that be helpful? Would that avoid this argument now? Because I will do roughly anything to avoid the argument. And then, And finally, there's I did my bits out of order. That's okay. There's something, and then I compared it to, hey, baby cakes, run and give me a cup of coffee. And I'm glad you didn't need the setup for that. Wow, you just know that that's. You guys are, compared to Lauren, you're relatively new to the dating game. Either that's like a sentence that has come up in your marriage, or you just believe that it's a sentence that's come up in my marriage. Which it has. And so, the pivot from there is it weird that we all, as terms of endearment, we constantly use very strong carbohydrate terms, like sweetie, or honey, or baby cakes. It's in a world that's post-Atkins that relies on us to be more mindful of our macronutrients. I think we should start calling each other like our little protein chicks. I think that would lead to healthier marriages and a healthier society. And if I remember the premise of that third bit, that might have been the pause break. I'm just going to stand here in grandiosity and pretend that bit went well. This is the part of the show where I start doing more crowd work. So I'm going to hop down here. How are you doing, sir? Good. You're from the Tampa area? It used to be affordable, right? What happened?
Brian was here.
Brian, you were you ever LA based? Did you move the LA rents over here? Okay. Well, so when he accuses you of raising the rents, what exactly is what's going on here?
You're asking the wrong person.
Great.
I don't think, like, although your gas is cheaper here.
It is. We're by that refinery. And it keeps our gas prices low.
Everyone working around Tampa have cheaper gas than nothing Central Florida area.
Nope. It's all terrible. And that concludes the crowd work. Oh, we show. There's something called over-preparing. And I didn't do that. This was more of a hope for the best show. And you guys, again, are just powering through it. Timekeeper! 13 minutes. We can feel this. This is gonna be fine. I remembered one more thing from Korea. So who here, and it's okay to say no, because of who the team is, but who's a baseball fan? No. One person. Perfect. And I think I know the reason why. So in Korea, they have a huge baseball cheering culture. So they have their overall season, they have their overall theme they've had since like the 1980s. They change it like once every 20 years. They have their stat seasons theme that they change once a year. And then each player is given their own theme. And so for me, like let's say I was a baseball player, I have approximately the body type for it. I think I would. I couldn't run is running very much a part of baseball. No, let's forget the part where I improv and self-deprecate myself over my baseball line. So if I had a theme song for the Tampa Bay, let's say the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's make up a baseball team called the Tampa Bay Rays. And so it'd probably be something like, it just takes some time. You're Jimmy Murray's baseball player. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right. And they would say it in a much more excited tone because they appreciate baseball in ways that apparently only Joe gets get. Whereas here, I think, I would love to institute this to all 100 Tampa Bay Rays fans. Because it goes something like, Tampa Bay, we're the Rays, and we've played since 1998. And that's as much energy as everybody at the Trop could muster. And you all silently agree with me, or you're cringing because You're afraid to open your candy in between the silent parts of my candy. You're like, man, I wish he would talk more. I wish he had slightly more. I'm sad to go back to Korean myths. I want to hear more about how he's not good as a husband, because that was hilarious. That was my favorite part. Well, guys, I thought there'd be a more interactivity. That's on me, though. I'm responsible for all that. I appreciate everybody for giving up their Friday night and for coming out here. I think I'm gonna step on. That's a timekeeper. What was it? 10 minutes left. I think I have it. One more time from the back. Somebody said something encouraging, and I used to work for the same company as Marty, so I have to be careful if I never hear that. Somebody said I got this.
You got it.
I got this.
Oh, yeah, only 10 minutes, you got it.
All right. All right, well, the sleeves are coming back on, and I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to like Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, except I went to stand up instead of punk rock. Thank you for bearing with me. Tampa Reds have gone up. That's not. So the whole point of this was to audition for the first Pro Feature. So there will be anybody who signed up for tickets, or anybody whose email or text or phone number I know will be sent something that says, "Hey, can this guy do comedy at First Presbyterian Church?" And you guys will say, "Yes." There will be one choice. And your choice will be either just send the email without the checkbox, in which case they'll think, "Oh, that's just the choice they wanted," or it'll have the check, and they'll be like, "Oh, yes, he's definitely good. He's good enough to warrant one click." So I look forward to doing all that with you. Oh, I don't want to end the show with this, but well, I'm not ending the show anyway, because apparently I have to stay on here until my time runs out. Stefan's making sure of that. Is anybody familiar with the Tampa Bay Lightning? The Tampa Bay Lightning joined the league in the mid-90s. They first started in St. Pete at the then State Fairgrounds. They were then moved and upgraded to the Thunderdome, which became the Trop. Anybody correct me on the history if I'm wrong on this? Then they moved over to, they were supposed to move to the stadium area that became Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They won a recent Super Bowl match.
Yeah.
We have a conflict. For somebody who's a Saints fan. And they might. Alright, I know how to make everybody happy. You guys remember when Tom Brady couldn't count downs at the end of the game? I think that was against the Saints. And that made everybody laugh. Yay, peace. The Tampa Bay Lightning went on to win their first Stanley Cup in 2004 off the back end lanes with the Andre Chuck band. I'm sure other players, because they're supposed to have a 20-man roster. And then, if you moved here recently, again, it's because I wished it into existence. Part 2, thanks for raising my rent $200 a month. Sure. But you got to see back-to-back Stanley Cup championships en route to a potential third, which was destroyed, our hopes were destroyed by a different national phenomenon, the Colorado Avalanche. En route to that, I was handpicked from a select group of attendees, probably based on my superb comedic skills, but definitely because I am a partial season ticket member there. And so I was lovingly placed to raise funds. There were 5 teams of us, and it was the military, education, health, medical, which was somehow different than health, and then I was food insecurity and housing, which I loved. But my wife hated it because I lovingly referred to it as being captain of the homeless. Which I felt I could say because I have been homeless before, so I think it's okay for me to say that. Wouldn't it be cool, like, if anybody could lead homeless people? It'd probably be somebody like me, right? Like, you could see, like, if there's a military hierarchy, there's a military structure, like, I'm definitely captain, maybe admiral. I could totally lead people walking down the brick streets of nearby armature works or on the Riverwalk. Like, let's go get some deodorant, guys, because we all smell terrible. Let's do this. And this is perfect material for First Presbyterian Church. Awesome. Probably not throw that one on the audition reel. That one was definitely happening. That one was like, if I run out of material, do that thing. And hope that it lasts at least 10 minutes. The pandemic changed a lot of things for everybody. Okay, so sorry for my ADHD again. It's making a cameo appearance late in the show. I started off the pandemic because I had a cool closing paragraph, and then I was like, oh, the show title is Jimmy Murray Has a Rough Idea. I have a rough idea about how to travel to Korea. I have a rough idea on sports. I have a rough idea on marriage, and I have a rough idea on how to record a stand-up comedy special. And those beats would have been great if I had said them at the appropriate times. But here we are. I'm collecting them all at the end. The pandemic changed a lot for a lot of people. For me, I was one of the first people to quit their jobs in what's been referred to as the Great Resignation. And I picked up shifts working for the Tampa Bay History Center. I thought I had the personality and the knowledge base to be a tour guide. And I definitely had the personality for it. I learned very quickly that a place called the Tampa Bay History... No, I didn't learn quickly at all, which is why I no longer work with it. Which is why I no longer work with the Tampa Bay History Center. That it's probably not a good idea until when you don't know the answer to the question and make something up. Like, no, Mr. Ebor, Jimmy, Mr. Ebor never took a Lamborghini down Fallman Avenue. Like, that is not a thing you can tell our guests at all. But what the one or two solid facts I did learn that has anybody here been to Ebor City?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun place? Not fun place? Lakeland. Is it? Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
We had the out of towners says it's okay. We're good to go. Saints guy. Matt.
Yeah.
Ebor City, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Instead of I'll just put thumbs up. So peppered throughout Ebor City are these buildings called the Mutual Aid Societies. Is that my time? Or were you just
no, that was great.
That was Miss Reed on the stretch. I'm not desperate to get out of here. At all. The show's for everybody, but I have to direct my attention to this part of the room because otherwise I'll be like, oh, it's the time, I gotta go. I'm gonna jump into the river because this was an embarrassment of epic proportions. Tampa Bay History Center tour guide, Mutual Aid Society is peppered throughout Ebor City. So you have the Spanish Club, you have the Cuban Club, you have the Storiano Club, which is the Cuban club for rich people. You have the Martini Maceo Club, which was two clubs in one, and you had, did I say the Spanish Club? I'll say it again, the Spanish Club, don't write it down twice, if I said it twice, and then you have the Italian Club. And the Italian Club, I learned, should really be called the Sicilian Club. But because there was an uprising in New Orleans, they decided to rebrand. Much like, if you remember in the mid-90s, or if you're learning this for the first time, there was an airline called TWA. TWA crashed into the Everglades. And they're like, maybe we shouldn't be associated with the airline company that crashed into the Everglades. And so they became AirTran. And so much like that, the Sicilians were like, maybe we shouldn't be known as the club that crashed into the Everglades. So they said, we should rebrand. What should we call ourselves? And so they called themselves the Italian Club. The Sicilian Club became the Italian Club. My favorite thing about that is like, who's not gonna notice that you're basically the same club, like, maybe they won't go to our pizza, so this little rectangular. No. That one stays. That's perfect. I never finished my road captain bit. So I know, hey, Stretchy, do I have enough more time for a road captain bit?
Plenty of time.
Darn, I mean, great.
1.5.
1.5 minutes. Oh, okay.
Go for it.
If you couldn't tell by my body type, I used to be a video gamer. My favorite video game, one of them, is Super Mario 64. It was one of the first games to feature Mario with voice. Yes. And one of his catchphrases was let's go. So fast forward to the road captain situation. En route to Korea was me trying to escape my road. And I know enough Korean to be dangerous. And so the word for let's go in Korean is kapshida. But when I went to say it, it came out as some weird Italian video game / Korean where I went kapshida. And I've never seen somebody look as wide-eyed as that, except for Mario in Super Mario 64. And his jaw dropped, and he wasn't sure to congratulate me on my Korean or to feel sorry for me on my stupidity. But anyway, I was able to successfully make it to wherever I was going, either for a stretch or for a bathroom break. If you thought this show was good, you can donate to my Cash App at the hashtag #DJimmyMurray. If you thought the show was bad and I needed to trade and you would give me money, Cash App #DJimmyMurray. I will be watching this tape closely. Thanks for everybody, again, for giving up their Friday night and for muscling through 40 minutes of what I will honestly call gym frog with me. And this was, as unrehearsed as I was, I feel like the Sabres made up for it. I enjoy it. I don't know. This is just a procrastinator excusing themselves. Like, I only do my best. I only write my best college term papers when I write them at 1 a.m. the day before things do. But I had a blast, and I hope for you it was like watching a baby or giraffe take its first steps. But I had fun. I hope you enjoyed the free candy and free soda and free chips and the free show. And I will welcome all feedback. And that the survey is real. I'll probably give you more choices than yes. It'll be like yes, and it was great. We'll give you 2 choices. Anyway, I'm the marvelous Mr. Murray. Thank you.